So I was at at work at the place where I used to work earlier today, and I was talking with one of the employees that was there, and yeah, we started talking about like how different age brackets, like people who were born in the '60s or born in the '50s rather, and then went to Vietnam, like how generations kind of formed, and we started talking also about schooling, like when you're growing up, what your schooling is and whatnot. And I had said I'm 25, right, in a previous video. And one of the things that's really interesting is that you can sort of tell people or tell about somebody who is like born between like 2000 and 2001. And fucking my friend's texting me. And yeah, like there's just something about people who were born in 2000, 2001. There's almost like, I don't want to say an edge to them, but like, and once again, this is going to seem like a gas up thing where I'm fucking gassing myself up, but I promise I'm not, because if you look, like, here's what's hilarious. When I was in middle school, one of the guidance counselors, because, like, the guidance counselors, they talk to your parents or whatever. One of the guidance counselors was like, hey, this is one of the best classes we've ever seen come to the school. And even in high school, it was like our class was just different than the others. So it makes me wonder a little bit about like how that happened, because I live in the Appalachian region of America, and a lot of people had left New York during 9/11, or even the whole like during 9/11 everybody was so solemn and sad. So I wonder how much of that had to do with fucking hell. I wonder how much of that had to do with like the molding and shaping process of our minds, right? Because when you're a toddler, or when you're like even just between 0 to 1 or 1 to 2, you sort of get shaped and molded by your parents, obviously. Like even though you can't remember it, I can't remember it. If everybody's sad and solemn and they start recognizing that, like, okay, our kids, we love our kids, we have to do what we can for our kids, what happens is those kids will remember that and kind of carry that on through them. It's just like generational trauma, or childhood trauma, or whatever else. They will take that with them, right? So I find it funny that like you can just kind of tell out in the wild when you see somebody who is from 2000 and 2001. There's sort of like a, I don't want to say, I don't know if moral upstanding is the best term, because there's a lot of people who are of my age who may not be the best morally. But at the same time, there's sort of like a, I don't know, it's like a, like people who are born before will be like gearheads or whatever, or they might, like the 90s kid kind of thing. And then after, sure, you have people who, might be like scrolling TikTok or whatever. But like right in that age bracket right there is like we grew up without phones, or some of us who did have phones. I mean, I used to have like one of those like Blackberries. Yeah, I used to have one of those Blackberries. And then you transition into high school, and then you get like a smartphone or like some sort of smartphone, or maybe you didn't, right? Like, I know some people, I mean, I basically had that BlackBerry or whatever kind of phone, just one with a keypad, up until I think like 10th grade. So, and I originally I used it for emergencies. So, I don't know, it's just funny how like people that were in that age bracket kind of got the best of both worlds, where we had computers at school, we could use the computers, even though I'm not the best at it. I didn't even have good internet until I was in college, right? Like I was getting like it was about half a megabyte download speed. I swear to God, it would take 6 hours. We timed it one time. It was 6 hours to download 1.2 gigabytes. And like, when I was in high school, all the games were pretty much, you had to download them, right? Like they kind of started phasing out CDs. So I was still buying CDs even though it was just not worth it anymore, right? Especially for like video games and stuff. Is what I'm kind of is what I'm kind of alluding at. But Yeah, like, I don't know, it's just interesting looking at people who are from that age bracket. Because really, that those formative years make you. They make or they break you. And sure, obviously, stuff through like middle school and everything else, but like you kind of like when you're 0 to 2, you see people's faces and you can recognize happiness versus sadness. Or like now, kids are growing up and their parents are on their phones, and because their parents are slate faced, this is kind of fucked up. Because their parents are slate faced, they don't understand like smiling, or like they'll try to get their parents' attention and their parents don't see them because they're looking at their phones. So they're like, okay, that's not how you get attention. How do you get attention? Many of them will throw stuff on the ground and their parents will frown at them. And then it's like they just don't understand how, like, you know, a smile works. Like, isn't that like fucking crazy? So, like I said, many parents were probably trying to, be good to their kids, or like smile at their kids and be like, hey, listen, I love you, kind of a thing. And that formed us mentally, right? That's why so many people are longing for something more. And that's what I'm hoping to maybe accomplish with the channel, is to maybe spark some ideas, or you can share things with me, or you can share things with each other, right? I'm sort of hoping that that's where that goes, rather than just letting it die. It's kind of lame. So, yeah.